Hi everyone, Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. I posted this eye that I painted today, and I've had a lot of wonderful responses. Thank you all for your support. I really do appreciate it. It inspires me to do better and do more. So I thought I would show you how I did the center of the eye. I'm not going to do the rest of it because it really took me a long time. So, okay, let me put this down and I'll show you how I did it. I don't know that you can see it here because I sketched it so lightly, but I drew an eye. I think the eye needs to be larger, but we're focusing on the center of the eye anyway, so I'm not going to bother with that. And what I'm using is a dry palette, which is this here. And I wish I could tell you what colors are in each of these wells, but I never labeled them, so I can't even refill them. So I'm going to continue using them until they're all gone. And then I did order another one. I have a lot more colors than when I started, so I'll do it correctly next time around. So I have some alcohol in a cup, and I'm using, I think for most of the painting I used this brush here, and it's just a little scrubby brush. Let me see if I can make this bigger so that you can see the details better. Okay, so I'm making the center of the eye really big because I want you to be able to see what I did. So I forgot to sketch the center. Okay, close enough. So I started from the center with a brown, and I just dabbed that color in. And this is the first time, that other painting that I just showed you was the first time I ever painted an eye. This morning I got up and intended on painting a walnut. I even searched for images last night before I went to bed, but I don't know why. I figured I would try an eye this morning, and I'm really amazed at how well it turned out. I have so much to learn, but I think that challenging myself to do something different every day has been such a wonderful experience. I wish that more of you would do that. I've always been comfortable painting my flowers because I know I do them well, and I didn't start out doing them well, but I practiced a lot and I got better in the centers. But this is so much more than I expected, and it feels wonderful. And what I kept telling myself was, it's just ink, paper, and time, all of which I have plenty of these days. So if it doesn't turn out well, I scrap it. I'll show you. I tried to do a couple of centers. Virginia Crow, I believe her name is pronounced, did this gorgeous center, and I tried to replicate it. And this is the disaster I ended up with. Then I thought I would try a center with different colors, and that didn't turn out too well either. So, yeah, all you can do is try. All right, moving right along. So now I'm looking at an image on Google, and that's what I do. I just Google images, a painted image of an eye or a cherry or whatever. I don't look at actual photographs because I don't know. I think a painting just gives me detail that I could not pick up with a photograph. I don't have that eye. So anyway, moving along. Now I'm going to pick up green, and again I don't know what green this is, and I'm doing the same exact thing, tapping it in around the brown. And letting it pick up some of the brown. And this little brush that I'm using is Artist Loft. It's a number 2, and unfortunately that's all I can read on it, even with my glasses on. But it gives you that effect that you see in the eye, where it's just different colors. And then I'm going into the same green, but I'm really using the paint kind of dry, where I had more alcohol on the brush before. And now I'm doing the outside of the eye, which is always darker, or in most cases is darker. And I'm adding a little bit of brown to it as well. I'm sure there's easier ways of doing this, but I'm just learning, and this worked for me, so I thought I'd pass it along to you. And as you play with it, you'll discover your own methods that work best for you. I'm seeing that my eye is not centered. The pupil is not centered, but that's easily fixed. I can just go in there and remove some of that brown. That's what's wonderful about alcohol inks. You don't like it, just remove it. I was way off. So I'm going to add a little bit more brown. Now in the image that I'm looking at, the top of the eye is darker. The green is darker. So I'm going to tap some more color in here. So I'm layering the ink to get it darker and adding a little brown. Now I really want to darken the outside of the eye. So I'm adding another layer of the green. And now I'm going to just dip my brush in the alcohol and kind of blend this together just by tapping from the darker into the lighter. And trying to soften some of those lines. I want to keep that dark ring on the outside, but I don't want it to be so harsh. So I'm just tapping it to soften it a little bit. And as I tap it, I bring it in. So you can see how long this takes. That's why I haven't been able to videotape anything. I don't have the equipment for such a long video, nor do I think anybody wants to watch me for that long a period of time. So using this brush made a big difference for me. It's got hard bristles. I'm going to add a little bit more brown to the center of my eye. Bring it out a little bit more. And then I noticed that in the image that I'm painting this from, in this area, it looks like the eye gets lighter So I'm going to clean my brush off and just tap with a little bit of alcohol after I clean it on my paper towel and remove some of the ink. But try and blend also at the same time. This eye doesn't look very round, so I'm going to try and even it out a little bit. Add a little bit more shadow on the top, and I just add a little bit of black to my green to make it even darker. All right. Now my brush is pretty dry, but it can still move the ink a little bit, making sure it's really dry, because all I want to do is try and blend this shadow into the rest of the eye so it doesn't have a harsh line. You can clean up any areas with just a wet brush, but I'm not going to get into that. I think you can figure that out. Now I'm going to do the center of the eye, and I'm using the same exact brush. Very little alcohol, but I'm scrubbing the black because I want this to be really dark. And I suppose I could kind of do the center with like a Posca pen, but then I wouldn't be able to soften it or blend it. Just trying to get this round is not easy. All right, I'm going to leave it there. So now I took my brush, made it very dry, and then I just went around the edge of the black and tapped it to soften it up a little bit. Then I'm going to go back and add some more black, because by softening the outer edge of it, I lost some of the shape. Thinking I need a little bit more green. So I'm just going to add a little bit here and there to create those like lines that you see in light colored eyes. And I'm just going in with a dry brush, basically, to soften it up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to dry this. And then I'll show you how I put the highlight in the eye. I took a Posca pen and I tapped it in. So the image that I'm painting this from, you can see that there's lines or shadows of the eyelashes in the highlight. And there wasn't a highlight in the pupil of the eye, but I added it because I thought it looked better. I'm going to dry that. And then I'm going to go over it again because I really want it to be white. Now you can make the eyes, of course, any color you like. I just chose green because my brother has the most beautiful green eyes, and he was the inspiration for the color. All right, so now I see in the image that there is a dark green line going through the highlight. So I'm going to add that in also. And then for the shadow of the eyelashes in the highlight, I used a liner brush, and I dipped it into a little slate, or you can even use some diluted black. And I just pulled it into the highlight just a little bit. And that is how I did the eye. I'll bring it up to you. I hope you found this helpful. So my video cut off at a half hour. I know this was a long video, but it really does take a lot of time to do these paintings. It's not like when I do a flower. I can do a flower in 15-20 minutes depending on the technique. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you challenge yourself as I've been doing and find that you can do so much more than you thought you could. What I think I'll do tomorrow is perhaps do another video on the rest of the eye, and maybe I can make a few videos in parts so that you can see how it is that I did the entire eye. I hope you found this helpful. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and hit that subscribe button. Follow me on my Facebook page, Vivo Vintage Designs, and on Instagram, also Vivo Vintage Designs. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. Bye.